sound you hear is what some experts claim to be a Bigfoot scream, recorded in the state of Washington by a group of campers in 1971. It is regarded as the highest quality audio of the creature ever captured.
Good evening. That clip you just saw is from a 1997 TV episode called Ancient Mysteries, Bigfoot, hosted by Leonard Nimoy. In this show, it wasn't enough to point out the authenticity by relaying the 1971 camping story. Mr. Spock also needed to mention how some experts believe this to be the highest quality audio of the creature ever captured. They also took the recording to another expert for evaluation.
This rare tape recording was analyzed at the International Center for Gibbon Studies in Southern California.
The gibbon has a territorial call announcing to its neighboring gibbons where they reside, and this is the area that their food is in and that they live in. That one sounds more realistic of a hominid's territorial call to me. It's a possibility it could be made by a human, or it could be of a hominid, an ancestor of a human. So it's a possibility it is realistic.
The gripe I have with this is the blatant dishonesty by the film company. As you may recall from my first Bigfoot video about vocalizations, I submitted a copy of this same recording and informed you all that it was made in a recording studio and was a fabrication to be used in a Bigfoot documentary. I guess the folks who put together this show in 1997 was hoping that it was so distant from its original source in time and importance that they could get away with the claim of it being reported as an actual Bigfoot recording. And I would love to find out who these so-called experts are that validated the recording. Now, although this recording and its original source is rare, it's not impossible to find. The recording first appeared in the 1972 documentary Bigfoot, Man or Beast, not to be confused with the film of the same name that was released years later. In the film, a young couple from British Columbia was interviewed about an experience they had near their home. Here is a portion of that interview.
There's a swamp fairly close to the house here where we can walk out of an evening, and quite often we go down to watch moose. And one night we were down there, and there wasn't any moose around, which was strange because in the summer every night there's moose in the swamp. And it was just before dusk when across the swamp we heard this screaming cry. We didn't see anything, but I've heard every animal that lives in the locality at different times, and it wasn't any of those. And if I was asked to describe the sound, I'd say it was a kind of a screaming cry, and it seemed to have anguish in it. Anguish was the thing that stuck with me.
Here is an approximation to the sound that they reported hearing that evening.
It's the exact same recording. What the announcer meant by approximation pretty much says it all. It's a recreation. This just goes to show how myth can become fact if you wait a while for memory to fail and original references to fade into obscurity. It plays directly to how people wish to see the myth rather than the truth. This is Super Soylent. Thank you for watching.